All right, we're back. We're back. And, see who's up. Who's up tonight? All right. I didn't even know so many of y'all be up this late. Y'all be up this late. I thought I was the only person up this late. What y'all doing up this late? What are y'all doing up this late? What are y'all doing up this late, guys? I thought I was the only person up this late. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing up this late? Talk to me. What's going on? Can you still remove a charge off from your credit report even if you settle? Yes, you can, Brenda. Yes, you can. I'm in Alaska. It's 9 p.m. now, King. Okay, cool. I'm always up, coach. Really? Just left the gym trying to get some knowledge before. All right. Hello, I'm in LA, so it's 10. Okay, okay. Free sauce tonight. All right. Trying to detach, detach from my day. All right, cool. Decompressing. What is going on? Why are you up? I'm always up, guys. Y'all don't know. I be studying all night. I go to bed like around 2, 3. I'm studying, I'm reading case laws. There's a lot. There's a lot. Can you speak on child support? Should it be on your credit? No. If anyone's hearing my voice right now, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, child support is not supposed to be on your credit. I'll be going over this next week. Child support is not supposed to be on your credit. I'm going to say this loud and clear. If you get child support on your credit, it is a violation. It is not a consumer credit transaction. Child support should not be on your credit. And I'm going to go over next week how you delete child support from your credit. Child support isn't supposed to be on your credit at all. Um, so, for those of you, how many people know that the challenge starts on Monday? How many people know that the Credit Repair Made Easy Challenge starts on Monday? And how many people got your tickets already? Guys, the challenge is Monday. Tomorrow, well, today is Friday because, I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So it's after midnight now. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's 4 days and the challenge starts. So if you have negative items on your credit, guys, stop waiting. You need to get on the challenge. You gotta get on the challenge. For those of you on Instagram, comment the word challenge. Ticket starts at $97 and it goes up to 747 depending on what ticket you want. So if you're talking about a general admission ticket, it's only 97. If you're talking about a brain picker ticket that gives you all the perks, the 50% discount, and all of that great stuff, you want to get the brain picker ticket, guys. So let's. You guys are asking a lot of questions at the same time. So let's. What you think about the crazy TransUnion sweep using sex trafficking? I think it's disgusting, honestly. For people to be using an excuse of sex trafficking to TransUnion, it's just ridiculous. Guys, there are so many other ways you can get um, relief and you can get items deleted from your credit. People that's talking about using sex trafficking, obviously they don't know nothing about credit. They don't know anything about credit and they'll use anything and whatever they can to get items deleted. Let me give you guys an example. Did you know that before any creditor at all, before any creditor can furnish any negative item on your credit, that financial institution, right? By law, they are required to send you a notice, right? A notice that simply means that they are going to put a negative item on your credit, and this must be either done before the negative item gets furnished or within 30 days of the negative item being furnished on your credit. Guys, there are laws out here, factual laws, laws that you can bring them to court and get a check from. For you to be, oh, I was a victim of sex trafficking. Okay, What if they don't like? That's just crazy that people are resorting to tactics like these, talking about sex trafficking and identity theft when they are not a victim of identity theft. It just simply means that they don't know nothing about credit. So if you have people in the credit space that's telling you to do these immoral things, then the most I can say is, yo, it's your money. Go pay them if you want to compromise your integrity like that. Can you sue the agencies for having child support on your credit? Well, you can, but you have to attempt to delete the negative item first. So you won't just go off the bat suing them. You get what I'm saying? You have to dispute it first. And if the dispute is done and they refuse to correct the inaccurate information, then now you can go in for a lawsuit, because at the end of the day, you need to show that you were damaged. Michael, text that number on the screen. I promise you won't get upset. Right? So these are the things that I'm talking about. Like you have to be aware, guys. You have to be aware of who you're getting the information from. Like some of you spent years wrecking your credit, and someone on the internet is going to come up and say, oh, you can just tell them you were a victim of sex trafficking, and then that will solve your problems, and then all of y'all run and do it. Guys, do you know that there's power in the tongue? And do you know that when you speak certain things into your life and shit start happening in your life, and you're wondering, oh, why did this happen to me? Because you spoke it into existence. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh. Words have power, words matter. And if you're going to call these things on yourself, oh, I was a victim of identity theft, oh, I was a victim of sex trafficking. If you are going to use these unethical strategies, ladies and gentlemen, whatever comes your way comes your way. I'm just saying, if it comes your way, it comes your way, because you're the one who wanted this quick fix. And guess what? It comes with a price. Right? Is AI good for second round letters? Is that explained when I buy AI? Yes. We have software training. Software training is done bi-weekly on Sundays. So once you sign up for the AI, you are able to use the software and you get software training. So it's you have support. You have support. It's not like any of these softwares where you just use the software and there's no training and you can't get no assistance. That's not true. You're able to get assistance. Guys, your questions are coming in fast. And by the time I answer one question, like seven other questions are already gone. So just to catch up, tell you what. Oh, if you have not gotten your ticket yet, guys, get your ticket, get your tickets, get your tickets. The challenge starts on Monday. I got a lot of new information that I'm bringing out. I think we're at 4 checks right now. Just a few days ago, one of my students, Joe, got a 13,000 dollar check from TransUnion for the work that he's been doing with his client. So his client got 13 grand from TransUnion. Guys, we know how to get paid from these consumer reporting agencies. We know how to get paid, and this is information that I'm teaching you. How much is the 5-day challenge, and what type is it going to be? I'm not sure what you mean, what type it's going to be, but like I said before, the ticket prices are general admission only 97, and you have Brain Picker that is 747. All the information is in the link. Just click the link, you will see the time. The time is, so if you're a Brain Picker, if you get the Brain Picker ticket, where you get that 1 hour Q&A with me, the Brain Picker starts from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the regular class starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you get Brain Picker, you get an additional hour every day before class to ask me whatever you want to ask me, and I'll give you strategies, I'll share resources, stuff like that during the Brain Picker session. When it comes to 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all we're doing there is we're just getting class started. I'm going into lecture mode, stuff like that. So the Brain Picker gives you the ability for Q&A, strategies, and all the other stuff. I saw the schedule for the 5 day challenge, and no day did it state you'd be teaching about how to sue and get these checks. Am I missing something? Because that's in a separate class. I will be going over that information um, in the challenge as well. So don't worry about it. I will be going over that. The challenge isn't about how to sue. The challenge is about how it's making credit repair easy. I will include that information in there. 13K from TransUnion, all from Learning from the Rain. I promise everyone he is the truth. My clients are extremely happy. Shout out to GTO Logistics. That's what happens when you execute. When you execute on the information that you learn, guess what? There's nothing else left to do but to watch the fruits of all your labor to fruition. So that's how it is when you execute. So for those of you on here that has not gotten your tickets yet, I need you to comment the word challenge. If you're on Instagram, just comment the word challenge. Can you give us a little sauce on suing credit bureaus? All right, I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's make sure that you guys secure your spot for the challenge. Just comment the word challenge if you're just coming on the channel. Comment the word channel if you're on Instagram. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, look at the screen. You're going to see the text number. Text the word challenge. So text challenge to 917-993-5238 to join the 5 day challenge. For those of you on Instagram, all you need to do is comment the word challenge. So when it comes to suing debt collectors or consumer reporting agencies, you need to have violations, right? Violations are the key. And from the violations, we need to talk about damages, right? So when you were damaged as a result of their failure, we need to understand, okay, I want the class on how to sue. What is that class called? It's called the Consumer Law Connoisseur Program. So if that's the class you want, Stephanie, comment the word paid. Stephanie, if you want that class, comment the word paid and it will give you the link to the Consumer Law Connoisseur Program, where I teach how to sue debt collectors and consumer reporting agencies. Basically, the strategies that my students have used to get a $50,000 check, a $4,000 check, $13,000 check, that strategy I'm teaching in the Consumer Law Connoisseur Program. All right, so just comment the word paid, and that should bring you to the Consumer Law Connoisseur Program, where you're able to join that program, where I specifically go over how to sue debt collectors. That's what that program is for. All right. So when we're talking about suing debt collectors and consumer reporting agencies, violations are the key. And each law has what we call the civil liability section, right? So the Fair Credit Reporting Act has the civil liability. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act have the civil liability. Truth in Lending has civil liability. Equal Credit Opportunity Act has civil liability. So like you get the point. There's civil liability section that gives you Guyanese brother know I'm Jamaican. There's civil liability sections that give you remedies for things, right? Now, in addition to that, the other thing is this: it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You need to be able to prove what you're saying. So, let me give you an example. Let's use late payment, because some of you didn't know that you can actually get paid for late payments. All right. Let's see. How many of you know that you can actually get paid for late payments being on your credit? Remember, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Capital One sued me and win. I don't feel I should pay them. It's not a matter of if you feel if you should pay them or not. If they get a judgment, they can get a levy against your bank account. So they can go into your bank account and garnish your wages. So it's not about you feeling like you're supposed to pay them or not. If they won and they get a judgment or a levy, they can get some money from you. What's going on? I have no idea who I'm talking to. Blank screen. I'm gonna call you blank screen. Can I call you blank screen? Are you aware that you're on live? You probably are not aware that you're on live. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, you were on live just now, destined for greater. You were on live. You had requested to join the live. At this point, it all depends, right? I'll definitely recommend that you go see a lawyer, because what I'm saying, this is no form or shape legal advice. If you got sued, and basically, if you got sued, did you show up to the court? Guys, let me break something down for you. Do you know that 95% of people that get sued by a debt collector or creditor, 95% of people don't show up. And what is called a default judgment, meaning that you didn't go. So they ask the court for a default judgment, right? They ask for a default, well, they get a default judgment because they did a motion to dismiss, or a motion, they did a motion, right? And basically, they got a default judgment against you. That's basically what happened. So if you don't show up, right? If you don't show up, they get what is called a default judgment. After they get this default judgment, they can use it in a lot of ways. They can get levies against bank account. They can start the garnishment process. There's a lot that can happen. 95% of the battle is showing up. Like, you gotta show up, but I know a lot of you are scared to show up, because when it comes to court, a lot of you think that, if I go to court, what am I going to do? I don't have an attorney. Well, this is where your education comes in. And guys, you have to seek information. You have to. Doreen, what's up? I commented challenge the last live. I never got any link in my inbox. I'm the one that told you about Midland Bank. So what probably happened is, Jordan, it may have went to your request. If it's the first time, like if we're not friends, and if it's the first time you're getting a message from me, it might have went to your request folder. So comment challenge again, right? Do me a favor. Comment the word challenge again. And when you go into your inbox on Instagram, check your request folder. There's a folder in your messages called request. Check your request folder or hidden folder. The message might be in there, because if we're not, like I said, if we're not friends, or if it's the first time I'm sending you a message, sometimes it does not show up in your inbox right away. In your general, it goes to your request. So for those of you that had messaged the word, or commented the word challenge, and you didn't get the link, it might be that it's in your request folder. So please just double check your request folder, as the message might have went there. I showed up to our court dates. Then how did they win? So there's more to the story. Do you have an attorney on your team? No, I do not. Unfortunately, I don't have any attorney on my team. We do pro se. That's what we're doing, pro se arbitration. Keep up the good work, champ. What happens if you went to arbitration and got a judgment against you? So that means that you did not go prepared, and that you weren't, yeah, it means that you did not go prepared. I sent a debt collector a notarized affidavit, but they never responded. Can I place a judgment on their company and sue them? You can sue them. I don't know about the judgment being placed on their company. So when it comes to debt collector, debt collectors are easy. Debt collectors are so easy. All you need to do is have them violate the law, and it's so easy. Like, okay, there's debt that has passed statute of limitations. There's the no parking rule. There are disputes, they don't update it as being disputed. There's violations using the um, the validation process. There's so many ways for debt collectors. I was not prepared. I did not know what to say. I figured as much. That's more than likely what happened. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you guys, it's important. When I'm doing these challenges, some of you are here and you're like, oh, I don't need to be on that challenge. But then you miss information that you can use to defend yourself. You miss like one piece of information. Like, for an example, let's say that you're being sued by a debt collector, right? And the debt collector is suing against an alleged debt. And basically, the alleged debt has an arbitration clause in there, and the arbitration clause simply state that the creditor is responsible for paying for the arbitration, and they'll pay up to $5,000. Now, let's say that the alleged debt is $1,000 or $2,000 or even 3,000, guys, and you do a motion to compel arbitration, right? You do a motion to compel arbitration, and you demand the arbitration fees up front, $5,000. Guys, they're not going to pay you $5,000. They're not going to pay $5,000 for arbitration to go and collect on a $2,000 or $3,000 alleged debt. They're not. And furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to pay an attorney. So by the end of it, they are in at least $10,000 for a $2,000 debt. That doesn't make sense. So they'll settle with you or the court, or they'll just dismiss, or they'll just like, there's ways, and there's so many different strategies. There's so many scenarios. It's just impossible to give you all of them. But knowing the foundation is important. The foundation is what you're going to use to get your items deleted. So how do you sue them? You sue them by having them break the law or identify the fact that they broke the law and you are damaged as a result. How to demand arbitration? Sending them a notice. No, so you would file that in the court. You would file that in the court. So if we're talking about um, demanding arbitration, that's something that you're going to have to file in the court, right? You'd have to file a motion to compel private or binding arbitration as per the terms and agreement of the contract that this alleged debt collector is suing on. When it comes to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, it's knowing the law, and you don't have to memorize them. That's why you got me. That's why you got a coach, right? It's my job to memorize them. Can you memorize them? Absolutely, you can. But it's my job to memorize them and teach you stuff. So what are we talking about? All right. Let's say, for an example, that there's an item on your credit, right? That came as a result of an alleged identity theft, right? Someone stole your identity, or there's accounts on there, or you're a victim of mixed files. So, guys, some of you that have similar names to other people, there's a process where they use certain identifiers like names, last four, or stuff like that. And if someone has a name close enough to yours or a name just like yours, they can do what is called a mixed file. So you'll actually find that information is being reported on your credit that does not belong to you. That happens a lot because the debt was sold in 2022 according to the court documents that was sent to me. Then the next question becomes, is this debt past the statute of limitations? Have you heard of early warning and check systems? Yes, I definitely know about them. Right? There are other consumer reporting agencies as well. Right? So when we're talking about mixed file, if there's somebody's name is John Richards, there's a lot of John Richards, right? So you might find items on your credit that does not belong to you, names on your credit that does not belong to you, social security numbers on your credit that does not belong to you. Or it could be that Experian, TransUnion, Equifax had a data breach, right? And then after this data breach, you're finding out that your information was a part of this data breach, and then there's items on your credit that resulted as a result of this data breach. So you are legitimately a victim of identity theft. The law is very clear as to what needs to happen when an identity theft happens, and that information should be blocked in 4 days after you 4 business days after you submit the relevant information that is required by 15 USC 1681 C2, right? And you send these information in. Guys, if they do not abide by the law and block the information within the 4 business days of receiving the notice, then guess what? On the fifth or sixth day, go apply for something. Go apply for a Mercedes Benz. Go apply for something. You got denied now as a result of the information that came from this alleged identity theft. Guess what? Now you are damaged. This is where you can prove damage. Number one, you can prove that you're a victim of identity theft. You're going to bring, like, there's so many strategies, ladies and gentlemen. This information is so valuable. Thank you very much, Destined for Greater. Do you state public law when canceling debt? I do. I'm not. I don't teach canceling debt. It's not something that I teach. So it sounds to me like the fact that you said public law, I'm going to make an assumption that you operate in the private or you're learning private affairs. So I don't teach on the private affairs. I'm not in the business of teaching how to cancel that. What I teach people is how to repair, rebuild, restore their own credit using consumer laws, how to grow and scale their credit repair business, and how to get paid for having items on your credit that resulted from consumer reporting agencies and or debt collectors that have violated your consumer rights. So that's basically what I do. With the canceling of debt, it's not a field that I go into. Yeah, you're in the private. I had a suspicion based on just how you asked the question that you travel in the private. So, do you recommend any private auditors or any private arbitration lawyers? No, it's simply no. Like arbitration is something you can do yourself. Like you do not need an attorney for this. Can you get one? Absolutely. And like I said, this is no way, shape, or form legal advice. But all my students that have gotten checks represented themselves. All of them that have gotten paid from this represented themselves. You can do it. This isn't something that you need a lawyer for, but if you believe that you do, by all means go and get them. Because like I said, this is no way, shape, or form legal advice. You can. Go ahead. Okay, I still love your cause. You thank you are helping people. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Just listening to you, I studied consumer law for a week and was able to remove over 15,000, wow, in derogatory mark. That is amazing. That is amazing. Wow. What about when they call you and answer the phone or I'm not. You gotta, Jordan. You gotta finish that sentence. How do I go about my situation? I know you're not an attorney. I would get an attorney to evaluate the matter. You need to evaluate what happened, right? You need to do an evaluation of what happened. How did they win? What evidence did they bring? Like what gave them the win? What like um you have to go through the motions of what happened. What did they sue you for? How did they win? What evidence did they bring? What claims did they allege? Right? These are all things that you need to think about. And then maybe you could do a motion to dismiss that judgment or whatever happened. But I would recommend that you speak to an attorney just to let them know. And if it's something that you can fight, I would go and fight it too. I'm currently on Article 6 and I'm baffled with so much I have learned on the UCC. UCC is powerful. So I use UCC I use it when I'm dealing with repossessions. I find that state laws and UCC is the best place when it comes to repossessions. Don't cut no lawyer on your bag. All right. What else do we have? If you all can't afford the services at the moment, then definitely go over to his YouTube. He's given hours and hours of straight gems. I've had success with my credit repair so far just from that. That's amazing. Thank you very much. That is dope. I love these testimonials. Guys, for those of you too that's been getting a lot of gems, leave some testimonials on my YouTube. That would be pretty cool. And you guys can also make some testimonials and send them to my Instagram too. The testimonials really help, guys, because it shows other people that listen, I can do this too. My YouTube is my name, Darain Delavante. And guys, don't forget, subscribe to the channel as well. It does a lot when you subscribe. It really does a lot. What would you say would be the earliest way to remove a negative account? We don't want reporting. Come on, bro. Share sauce with the people. It's late. So when it comes to removing negative items, there's several ways you can remove negative items, right? Before negative items are put on your credit, by law they're supposed to send you a notice. So did they send a notice? Can they prove that they sent a notice, right? If we're talking about late payments, all right, did they do what is required under 1666B? So there's different strategies that we can use. The reporting of a bankruptcy. Who gave authorization or permissible purpose to pull your reports? How did they pull your reports? Where did the information come from? So there's different things, different scenarios. There's different strategies that can be used. So in most cases, right? In most cases, when a consumer have a negative account on their credit, their first thought process is, oh my God, this account belongs to me. I'm either going to admit it and give them a statement, I lost my job, this happened, my dog died, stuff like that. We're not going under the basis whether the account belongs to you or not. That's not the basis, right? The basis is not that the account belongs to you. It's, are they in compliance? Are they in compliance? If it's late payment, are they following the compliance procedures under 1666B? If it's a charge off, are they in compliance with I-7? I mean, with S-27? Are they in compliance with S-27? Did they do what is required under S-27 to notify the consumer about the negative item potentially be placed on the credit? Right? If it's a repossession, did they follow state and federal repossession laws? So it's not a matter of I had a repo or I didn't make payments. That is not the basis. The basis is, are they compliant? Our job is to request proof that they are compliant with what they reported. So at no time are you going to say, this is not mine, it did not belongs to you. That's child's play. You saying it is not mine, it does not belong to me. Okay, then they respond with verified or validated. Then what? What happens next? Do you recommend filing a UCC 1 or 3 for repo? I'm not doing any of that, For repossession, it's just evaluating state repossession law. Like, you'd be surprised the amount of violations you find when they violate state laws. I got you subscribed. Let's go. Subscribe to my YouTube. Let's go. Guys, my YouTube channel is Darain Delvante. Go hit me up over there. Go subscribe. Go like. Go watch your fill over there. It's a lot of information. Do we have to freeze all 10 secondary? Yes, you don't have to. Let me backtrack. You don't have to. I recommend that you do. Freezing your reports give you control over who has access to your information. That's why I freeze them. I freeze them because I want control over who has access to my reports. That's why I freeze them. Charge off is technically income. Yes, charge off or a canceled debt is gross or ordinary income. Yes. What I was asking is, does the statute of limitation start over if you answer the phone? No, no, no. It does not. It does not start over. In some states, let me give you an example. In the state of New York, you cannot even restart the statute of limitations of debt anymore. In the state of New York, the statute, it doesn't matter if they tricked you and you paid on something, they cannot restart the statute of limitations in New York. I don't know about any other state, but I know New York has very strict debt collection state laws. And one of the things inside of the law is that paying on an alleged collection does not restart the statute of limitation. New York has some very good debt collection law. What's your advice for getting trade line? Trade lines are good. Are you sending a confirmation letter for the repo? No. So with repossession, there are many, many, many violations that you can find on the repossession. Shout out to Destin for Greater. I'm going to assume that Denmark means that you subscribe to my YouTube. All right, I'm gonna take a few more questions over here, and then I'm gonna go to YouTube. Do you use postal rule when you are denied a line of credit? No, I don't use postal rule. So what I use is I use the adverse action, right? And using adverse action, I'm able to demonstrate that I was damaged. So remember, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. The dispute strategy is one of the most important strategy you need to know. What does that mean? That means that, okay, what is in your round one? What is in your round two? What is in your round three? Right? The maximum amount of rounds we go is round three. And at round three, you're getting ready to start arbitration, small claims, or whatever. No, when it comes to New York, you can look it up. What's the alleged debt that you're talking about? All you got to do is go on Google and type in what is the statute of limitation for collecting on X, whatever debt it is in the state of New York, and it will give you the answer. All right, so let me take a few questions over here now on YouTube. So what's going on over here? Compliance law S27 basis compliance law. All right, give me some more context. L. Miller, give me some more context. Where do I start? Akeem Palmer, look at your screen and you just send me a text message. Just text the word. Let me drop it here. I should have it up. Okay, so let me drop the link here. All right, I'm going to drop the link. You can start there. Click on the link, go check it out. But I thought you hated the word brain picker. No, no, the word brain picker is a ticket that I offer. So if you're gonna pick my brain, it comes with an invoice. All right, on loans under 3,000, Georgia usury is 16%. How do I defeat a rate of 30% from a bank in Utah? So I'm going to assume that the loan amount you're talking about is 3,000, is more than 3,000, and the bank is in Utah, right? I'm going to assume that's what you're saying. So I would look up cases on usury and go from there. So if it's talking about loans under 3,000. And let me ask you a question. What is the usury law in that state of Utah? Find out what the usury is in Utah and see which one can work in your favor. Too many people need this. Absolutely. A lot of people need this. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube and Facebook, this is the link right here. Just click the link, sign up for the challenge. It's going to be an amazing experience. All right, let me go back over to New York is 6 years. 6 years for what? NY is 6 years. What is the 6 years for? Give me some context. What is the 6 years for? Challenge. All right. What do you do when served by a collection agency to appear in court? You go. You appear. You appear. If there needs to be an answer filed, you need to file an answer. You need to show up because if you don't show up, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be hit with a default judgment because they're going to put in a motion for summary judgment because you didn't show up. And when they put in a motion for summary judgment and they get it, guess what? You are going to be at default because you didn't show up. With repos, to you could get a notice from the company and have them say we don't report in writing. I'm not following this one. With repos, to you could I'm not following this one. I'm not following that one. 3 years for most debt. Yes, statute of limitation in New York is 3 years for most debts. Correct. Do I notarize the advisor action letter? Yes, I notarize everything, right? Um, I notarize everything. The reason why I notarize everything is this. One, the notary becomes your witness, right? Notary becomes your weakness, and two, you're authenticating your identity, because a lot of these agencies, they will play games about the person that's being disputed, or the person disputing is not the correct person, and they want to quit, like they want to do things to stall and throw you off. So I always notarize anything, because if I need a witness, I can always call on my notary as a witness. Drew, like I think you need to give me the entire question again, Drew. Right over the entire question. Do I send that to the car company and the Secretary of State? Well, it depends on what you're doing, Shay. What exactly are you doing? Because what you're doing will determine what strategy you're going to use. Long time, bro. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, brother. By law, before anything gets furnished, you USU. Not sure what USUAP is. Having problems researching this law. Um, Give me that question again. I'm still not following. I'm still not following your question. I apologize, but I'm still not following your question. Hey, Rain, I seen you mention Tilla for auto loan. You can get twice the fin twice the fine. Should I just keep it in small claims limit 7,500 to get consumer cleaned up to, or go after two times the fine? So when it comes to small claims, each state has the small claims amount, right? Atlanta, the state of Georgia, small claims is 15,000. The state of New York, small claims is 10,000. So if what I'm going for is less than what the small claims maximum amount is, I'll stay in small claims. But something like, let's say, a truth in lending violation, if I'm going to be suing on that and I'm standing on truth in lending, if my calculation proves that my amount exceeds small claims, I'm going to go to arbitration. I would not go to small claims. Hey, all right. What's the first step to take to discharge mortgages? I don't know, because I don't teach discharge. It's not something that I do. So it's not, I don't have an answer for that one. We, the people, I don't teach discharge. So I wouldn't be able to answer you. Do I send the car company? Okay. Is there a way to fight a default judgment? That's a question that I'm going to follow up on you about. What about the 1099-A lender reported a different amount than it's reported for my debt? If a lender reports, where are they reporting it to? Right? That's the question. Where are you talking about, the IRS? Then I think that's something that you're going to have to fight. So if they're reporting information that is inaccurate, request a 1099-C, or do a printout of the account. Do a printout of the account with the accurate balance, and I believe it's something that you can speak to someone about. I am bringing a claim for a repo they reported that was in the positive, and I wouldn't go that angle. I wouldn't, me personally, wouldn't go that angle. I would use a different approach. So if you're talking about doing a repossession while in the private, I don't have that information because I've never done that. What I can say now, and what I know from UCC 9 Article 6 or Part 6, is that when it comes to repossession, there are several things that are required both on the state and on the federal level. And if they are in any violation at all for the repo, then now you activate the civil liability section, right? So, Shay, look up UCC 9 Part 6. Look up UCC 9 Part 6, right? And or you could go to UCC 9 625. So Shay, go to UCC 9 625. It's going to bring you under the repossession law on the federal side, right? And basically, that's going to bring you to the civil liability section. and you're going to see that you don't need a lot of violations for repo. All you need is one. If they fail to comply with any with any section of the law or with any section, you are owed remedy. So look into that. I wouldn't go from it from the private side. They stole the car and then re, reposted as late. So we can also challenge the late payment. So there's several, what it sounds like is there's several ways that you could bring yours. It's just a matter of you need to pick a way, because if you do everything, then you're going to be all over the place. So I would recommend that you, one, come to the challenge, get the brain picker, and then we go over what strategy you want to use. I would recommend that. All right. I never dealt with a repo situation, but from the information that I was given to me, when your vehicle get repoed, can't you go to the company that is dealing with the repo situation and get them to say, well, they don't report. But what, how would that, first of all, you can't get anyone to say anything. Remember that. You can't get anyone to say anything. What would be the reason, what would be the point of getting them to say that they don't report? Like, what's your angle? Give me your angle. I'm suing on truth in lending, wire fraud. Okay. So if we're talking about repo, then you're taking it to a completely different angle. Me personally, I wouldn't go that route. Like I said, if we're talking about repo, um, repossession would be different than if you're going in from truth in lending. If we're going in truth in lending now, I would. I'm not saying your way is wrong. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this: things that I know. If you can prove wire fraud, by all means, go ahead. If we're talking about truth in lending, what I'm talking about is one, the finance charge, right? 15 USC 1605. Was there a down payment, right? We know that with the finance charge does not, cash does not go with the finance charge, right? We know that 15 USC 1605. We know that 1606 requires them to break down the APR and how it was calculated, right? When it comes to the lemon law, if it's a used car, or when it comes to the holders rule, right? Responsibilities under the holders rule. We're talking about your 1611 disclosures. We're talking about the other disclosures from truth in lending. We're also talking about 1635, the right of rescission notice. We're talking about that. So there's different things you can use when it comes to truth in lending. I've never used that strategy or looked into that strategy that you're using, but I use a completely different strategy. Would you be willing to? How you doing? You're live.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? Are you here? Think you might be having some issues. Are you here? Are you here? All right. I'm gonna say you. All right. Cool. You might be having some internet issues. All right. My car was wrecked and was total. It had gap insurance but no auto insurance at the time. I've gotten a new auto loan, but the lender for my old auto loan is a debt collector and reporting. That's easy. That's easy. Equifax arbitration agreement doesn't include FCRA violation, so I'm forced to go to small claims court. No, you can. You can go to arbitration, guys. You can go to arbitration. You can. They're governed by FCRA laws. They're governed by consumer laws. You can't go to arbitration. I have students that went to arbitration. Dwayne just went to arbitration and he got 50,000. You can't go to arbitration. It's all about what you can prove. All right. So if we're talking about violations, violations is one thing, but violations is not the only thing. We're talking about damages too. Damages are a real thing, right? Damages are a real thing. So being able to prove damages and using examples like case laws, you can get a lot done. All right, let me get some questions over here. Boom, boom, boom. My original mortgage company was Green Tree. When it changed to Ditech, now it's with a collection service. I was never notified of any of the change of companies. All right, I'm not sure what question that is. USC 1681 AP is similar to USC 1666B, late payments. All right. Let's all right, question. If I have a closed account that was charged off, but they didn't cancel the debt, how would I approach that? I purchased your letter and have been reading it. Okay. So if there's a charge off and the charge off is being reported on your credit, you can go at it at being a charge off. You can go at it as being inaccurate information. You can go at it from the standpoint of negative information being furnished. There's three round one strategies that you can use when it comes to a charge off. It all depends on which one do you want to use. I sent a dispute letter and they just changed my payment history. Change it to what? What did they change it to? Is it positive? Did you get the late payments deleted? I got the pre-sale letter, but nothing else after that. Okay, so if you got a pre-sale letter and nothing after that, then we're talking about UCC 9, Part 6 violation. It requires them sending you a lot of information, and if you did not get it, then we're talking about now a violation of the law when it comes to repossession, and you under UCC 9-625, you are owed remedies, and these are things that you can go after, especially if you've been damaged. I think you speak in part of the process for bankruptcy or student loan when getting a loan from a court stating that they don't report. Yeah, I think he was mixing the process up as well. Thank you so much. Dropped a lot of gems. Thank you so much. You can't do that for repos. Yeah, it won't work. That's why I needed to know what angle they were coming. That person was coming at. All right. Let's see. If a late payment is removed, will it come back on? You can't. You cannot predict how a creditor will react. So, an example, if they deleted a late payment, right? If they deleted a late payment and then the late payment came back, well, that's reinsertion of previously deleted items. So now that falls under a different law, and we're talking about compliance. Were they compliant with the reinsertion of the negative item? That's number one. Number two, were you notified that this negative item reappeared on your credit? So it's not a matter of the what happened. It's more of, were they compliant? Were they using the proper guidance that the law prescribed? Because one of the requirements for any negative item that was deleted that gets reinserted is that within 5 days of this item being reinserted, the consumer must be notified. Were you notified? So this is a matter now of questioning. Hey, you reinserted a negative item on my credit. You did not send me a notice. If you did, I am requesting that notice that was sent. I'm requesting the date, timestamp of when it was sent, and what address it was sent to. If they can't prove that because it's a requirement, it now becomes a violation. Y'all see what I'm saying? So it's not the thing, it's knowing what the compliance procedures are. Are they compliant? They're not. There's over 200 million credit file guys. They are not compliant at all. And guess what? Most of that happens in India. Like you're fighting with a consumer reporting agency here, but their whole database is in India.
Mm, wow.
All right. Hey, Queen, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hi, Durant. I'm a big fan. I've been watching you for about 3 years, and your videos and all that has really helped me tremendously. But I just have one question.
Talk to me.
I wanted to know, my my friend's credit profile is blank. So we was wondering how could we establish her credit, because on her TransUnion, her Experian, and her Equifax, or Equifax, however you say it, they're all blank. So could you just give me some advice on how could I help her establish some credit? Would the right way be going to purchase trade lines or getting a credit card? What's your input on that?
All right. So when it comes to trade lines, you can do authorized users. Like example, if people in your family got good credit, they can put you on as an authorized user. You can also build your own trade lines too with secured credit cards, secured loans, secured personal loans, and those will build it. The trade line is just a hand, like someone giving you a hand to get you off the ground. But you use that to establish your own primary lines.
Mm-hmm.
So if your client now needs some trade lines, they can start by getting their own primaries. Let's say they have about $2,000, right? What they can do now is use $500 to open up a secured credit card, use another 500 or another $1,000 to open up two secured or pledge loans. Once they do those, now we're talking about three primaries. So they pay on those. About 3 months later, they can add some more, and with those trade lines now, they can start getting like Discover credit builder accounts or Capital One or Navy Fed. You get what I'm saying? And they build
Uh
their
huh.
primaries. It takes a little bit of time, but can trade lines help? Yes, they can. But it's not a fix, it's just a band aid.
Okay, so what if the credit profile is blank, like I was saying? Are you familiar with the website Trade Line Supply Company?
No, I don't specialize in trade lines, so it's not something that I dive into much. I'm more on the deletion side of credit.
Okay. One last question, and I thank you. I know time is money. I thank you for taking time out to talk to me. This is
You're
an
welcome.
honor to. Yeah. So I have a car loan now, and I
Mhm.
want to back out of it because I I just had a slip and fall, and I haven't been able to work in 2 weeks because
Mhm.
I broke my ankle,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry to hear that.
I also have stitches in my leg. So, before I got the car loan, my credit score was like a 718. My
Mhm.
experience score, that's what I got the car under. But now it has dropped to like a four something. So, do you
Mhm.
know any way I can get out of this car loan, or like will it show up as a repossession if they get it, or what should I do on that?
Well, it all depends. Getting out of a contract is a sticky stuff. So when it comes to contracts, you're normally bound by the terms and agreement unless there's fraud, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter now of, okay, you don't want the car anymore. You can always sell it, but then you might be negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could rent the car out to someone who does Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, stuff like that. That could bring in income. Um, if you do a voluntary surrender, it will show up as a repossession. So
Okay.
it's all about the route you want to take. Um, how much is the car?
The car is $25,000. It's a 2019 Honda Civic. It's actually a good car. I just can't make the payments at the moment. I don't have the money coming in. So I was thinking about putting it on Turo. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, so there's different ways you can do it. And, and like I said, this is no way, shape, or form legal advice. Um, but there are ways that you could refinance a car into an entity like an LLC, and businesses go bankrupt all the time. There's just
Right.
there's different ways to skin a cat as long as the cat gets skinned. But in your case, if it's an issue of income, there's people that wants to drive Uber. You get what I'm saying? And they don't have a car. So you can
Right.
find these people and you can have a contract. Like these are just some examples of things that you can do.
Right.
People that want to
Okay.
drive for DoorDash, Grubhub, stuff like that. And those now could
Okay.
bring you in an additional maybe $400 a week.
Okay. Do you help people fix their personal credit? That's
Yes,
my last question.
that's what I specialize in. So I teach people how to repair, rebuild their own credit. If you're talking about credit repair, if I do credit repair for people, no. But I educate you on how to do it. We have classes. I teach you all the stuff that I know. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, Durain. I will continue watching you. Like I said, I have learned so much, and it was a pleasure talking to you. And thank you so much for
You're
letting me be on
absolutely
your
welcome. Thank you. I
channel.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, beautiful.
Bye bye.
All right. So, guys, the challenge that's coming up. So, let me tell you a little bit about the challenge that's coming up. The challenge, when is your next class? The next class starts on Monday. The next class starts on Monday. Comment the word challenge and you will get the link inside of your DM. The next challenge starts on Monday. I got my POLS that has primary accounts. I'm not sure what POLS is, Pauls. Not sure what that is. Comment the word challenge. The next class starts on Monday. The next class starts on Monday. Comment the word challenge, guys. I'm going to be breaking down a lot, especially with everyday things that you guys are going through. Some of you don't know because you haven't looked at the statistics. Over 42 million Americans. Do you recommend paying off? Do not pay collections. No. We do not pay collections. No, 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 no. There are several ways for you to get collections deleted from your account. You do not need to pay collections. Do you help with bankruptcy? What do you mean when you say, do you help with bankruptcy? What I can do and what I do is I can teach you how to delete a bankruptcy off of your credit in 4 days. I can do that. But when you say help with bankruptcy, I do not comprehend what you mean. Right? Get them removed. Yes, I teach you how to delete bankruptcies. It's what I'll be going over bankruptcies on the challenge next week as well. So definitely get in. Will the Zoom calls for the 5-day challenge be recorded for the people who have a ticket but may work? Yes, absolutely. Simone, that was a great question. Yes, the Zoom call will be recorded. Yes, it will be. All right. Get them removed. Yeah. So I teach the 4-day method. I teach the 4-day method, how to get a bankruptcy deleted in 4 days. I have a 4-day method that I teach my students in the university and I teach on my challenge. And like I said, I don't recommend paying collections. Once we evaluate the collection, you'll probably see that you don't even need to pay it. So for those of you that did not come in challenge, guys, comment the word challenge if you're on Instagram. Secure your ticket. The challenge starts on Monday. Collections are so easy. So easy. Charge offs, guys, we've cracked the code to charge off. ain't even worry about no charge-offs no more. Like, don't even worry about the charge-offs no more, right? Because I'm gonna give you guys some strategies next week on how to get these charge-offs deleted. Impossible to lead a bankrupt. Oh, really? Who says it's impossible to delete a bankruptcy in 4 days? Okay, cool. All right. Impossible to delete a bankruptcy in 4 days. Okay, cool. Would you let me give you an invite? I would like to hear why you think it's impossible. I would love to know why you think. Sunderbing. I just sent you an invite. I would love to see, or I would love to hear why you think it's impossible. So click that link. I just dropped you a link. Sunder Bing. I just dropped you a link. Click on that link. It will bring you onto my live, and I would love to hear your point. This is a conversation, by the way. So just let me be very clear. It's a conversation. I am not coming after you. I just want to hear why you think it's impossible, and then I will share my feedback on it. Okay, like I said, I'm not coming after you. Please don't think this is me coming after you. I'm not. I just want to hear your perspective, your point of view, and I can give you mine. One day ago, your video mentioned the law USC 1681 AP. You can type the law for me. I'm still not following. I'm still not following. Bro, could you answer the final question? What final question is that? How much is the challenge? The challenge is only $97 for general admission. Brain picker tickets are there. Facts, charge off or a problem. You're known joke. I can't believe you're up on live. Collections are easy. What question? I don't see a question. Living. I'm not seeing a question. The last thing I saw from you, it says facts, charge off are the problem. That's not a question, so I'm not sure what question you're referring to. Bro, I sent a letter to a credit union for late payments, and they say they are validated based on the transactions of the account. The law for timing and payment has some exceptions. There's no exceptions to it. There are no exceptions to it. Did they tell you what those exceptions are? There are no exceptions. Timing of payments are timing of payments. There are no exceptions. A creditor cannot treat a payment late unless there are on the unless means unless they did what is required. There are no exceptions to that. There are no exceptions. So they just lied to you. There are no exceptions. My brother has a charge off on his credit report for his car. He had it for a year now. They never came to repo, but he was to say the charge off account is inaccurate. Do you think they will try to come? Um, I can't predict what a company may or may not do. What you can do is make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. So if they do try something, you know how to defend yourself. So if you're disputing a charge off, dispute the charge off. If the information that is being furnished is inaccurate, you have all right to dispute the inaccurate information. So don't be scared of them um, coming after you for you defending yourself. That's called discrimination if they do. Could you tell me how to respond? I would send the round two. So there's a round two. So if you go on my website, there's a round two late payment letter to respond to that. But I would just recommend you come to the challenge next week and get the strategy because late payments, I will be going over it on Monday. So today is Thursday. On Monday, I'm going over late payments. So I recommend that you get the ticket to the challenge and you can get a comprehensive strategy versus getting the letter and trying to figure it out yourself. I'm going over late payments on Monday. How is how is the transaction funded when you do business with a lender, and do hold on, what's going on here? And where are we? And how is the transaction funded? That's a very good question. When you do business with a lender that do buy here, pay here. All right. So with buy here, pay here, I don't know how the transaction is funded. They could possibly take it from their funds. However, when you're talking about the buy here, pay here, these lenders, let's look at usury laws and interest rates. Truth in lending violations. These are what you want to explore when it comes to payday loans. You want to explore truth in lending and usury laws. Those are the ones that you want to, those are the laws that you want to know when it comes to buy here, pay here, or payday loans. Is there any item or category that is difficult to remove from a profile? Not to me. Not to me. I don't think anything is hard to delete because I know the strategies to delete almost anything on your report, from personal information to inquiry to collections, charge off, late payments. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter what it is. I can get it deleted. I can teach you how to get it deleted. It doesn't matter what it is. There's so many strategies that can be used. All right, so you're basically saying that them taking it and you challenging the charge off is two different things. Challenging the charge off is a right that you have if you suspect that the item on your credit is inaccurate. Them taking it is, do they have the right or the legal right to take the item? If there's a default on it, right? They have the right as the they have a right to take it, right? As a secured party, they have the right to take it. However, there are rules to them taking it, and learning the rules for them taking it can be the difference between you paying for an alleged default or you winning, them violating your rights in retrieving said item. So it's chess, guys. This game of credit, you are playing chess. This is not a game of checkers. You are playing chess, and the strategies are what's going to get you to win. My studies is trust law. Can you save this life, please? Most definitely. What is your credit score? My credit went from 590 to 715. Thank you, bro. You the goat. Your classes help me. I appreciate it, bro. Let's get it. Can you explain your AI program? Do you recommend the AI over buying each dispute letter? I recommend the software because the software has all the letters. All the letters are inside the software. So if you get the software, you're going to get access to all the letters, and you get access to software dispute training calls that I do every Sunday. So getting the software comes with a lot more benefit than just getting a dispute letter. All right, program is all that and more in the program's simplest form. No way, perfect. Okay, cool. How can you get addresses off your report when connected to an account? All right, so if we're talking about addresses on your credit, let's talk about accuracy. So let's say that I have an account, right? I have an account and I lived at an address 15 years ago. So let's say 15 years ago, I lived in the state of New York. I now live in the state of Georgia, right? The address there is outdated information. It's not accurate anymore. Why? Because I don't live in New York. I cannot get mail in New York. Nothing in the FCRA states that if an address is tied to an account, it remains on your credit. It does not. It says that the consumer report must be accurate, right? Accuracy means all values correct. So if you have outdated addresses on your credit, you can delete that in a matter of 24 hours to 30 days. I have the sauce. And there are case laws that you can use to further strengthen the deletions. Oh, y'all just threw in a whole bunch of questions when I wasn't looking, huh? How much is the software? The software is only $67. In your challenge coming up, you're teaching how to remove everything or a specific thing you're going to teach to remove. I'm going over a lot of the most common negative items: late payments, charge offs, student loans, child support, bankruptcy, repossessions. Um, it's a lot of stuff that I'll be going over. Do you have a different signature when you do your claims? Are you using a beneficiary signature? No, I'm not. I am not using a beneficiary signature. Why do you decide to study credit laws? Because I was tired of being told no. I was tired of people denying me for stuff, and I wanted to learn something that could make a difference in my life. But then $67 per month, correct. But then I realized that the information that I knew, 99% of Americans don't know it. And then I decided that, hey, I'm going to start teaching this stuff. And then I made a business out of it, and I've helped thousands of people, and it's been a remarkable journey. Do you cover anything with business credit? No, but I have friends and associates who do. So a lot of you wonder why I don't do business credit. See, this is what's happening. Let me give you an example. You can be a mile wide and an inch deep. That means you know a lot of stuff, but you don't know nothing. Or you could be an inch wide, but a mile deep. I rather be an inch wide and a mile deep because I am so good at what I do. All these other gurus online that's doing business credit and personal credit and don't have the time to study both in depth. These are the gurus that are telling you to go and do a TransUnion sweep where you're telling people that you were a part of sex trafficking and that you are like just some ridiculous strategies. You get what I'm saying? So I just I rather know my skill and be the best at consumer law than to know consumer law, business credit, funding, all of these other stuff. A message that appeals to everyone appeals to no one. Like when it comes to consumer law, my name is the name that you're going to call, right? And that's just the facts. Can you get a debt discharge with filing a 1099 OID? I have heard of that. I can verify that because I've never used it. Yeah, focused knowledge. The highest paid people in the world, they specialize at something. Grant Cardone specializes in real estate. Jeff Bezos, he specializes in distribution. Elon Musk, he specializes in advanced technology. Like every Bill Gates specialized in Microsoft, bringing a computer system in every home. So like, can I learn business credit? Yes, I can, and I'll be very good at it. But then now it's going to take away from the amount of studies that I do for consumer law because we all have the same amount of time. And if I spend 10 to 15 hours a day researching and learning consumer law, I'm going to have to break that down in half. And then no, I won't be as fine tuned as I want to be. So, how do you guys like this consumer law after dark? If you guys like this consumer law after dark, I'll probably do this 2 to 3 times per week. If y'all don't fear the man that has 1,000 moves, fear the man that practices one move 1,000 times. Absolutely. You are so spot on, Drew. Drew, you are so spot on. Um, Let me know how y'all like this consumer law after dark. If you guys do like it, drop some comments when I post this live. Also, I'll aim, not a promise. I will aim to do this consumer law after dark, maybe 2 to 3 times per week, maybe 2 to 3 times per week. For those of you that needs to be on the challenge, guys, that you have not gotten your tickets yet, I implore you get the tickets. The challenge starts on Monday. All you got to do is comment the word challenge. If you're on Instagram, comment the word challenge. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, look at the screen. You will see the number. It says text challenge to 917-993-5238. I will also drop the link for you. Thanks for your time. Absolutely. Monday, guys, the challenge starts on Monday. We are going to go very deep in this consumer law stuff. I'm going to be teaching you guys a lot of strategy, a lot of strategy. And like I said, if you like this consumer law after dark, I will definitely be putting it on my schedule. And yeah, I like this consumer law after dark thing. I think it's pretty cool that there are actually people like me that's up this late, either reading information or need to solve a problem. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I like this consumer law after dark stuff. So I'm gonna put it on my schedule. I'm gonna put it on my schedule, and we'll do consumer law after dark. Maybe like two two times a week. I'll start out with probably 2 times a week. I'll start out 2 times a week, and I'll see how y'all respond to it. But I did enjoy this consumer law after dark, and I see a lot of people still joining. So there's a lot of people that's up. I like it. I like consumer law after dark. I was on YouTube watching your video. Guy turns on notifications for my. Oh, thank you, Abraham. Thank you. You even turned on your notifications. Thank you so much, Abraham. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you. For those of you that have not gone over to my YouTube channel yet, go over to my YouTube channel, Derain De Levante. Go like, go subscribe, go share, guys. I want to get to 100,000 subs before the Credit Summit in October. Guys, I would love if you could help me out. I would love to get to 100,000 subs on YouTube. So I need your help. Okay, so yeah, I need your help. I would love to bring this to the Credit Summit. I'll give you guys more information on the Credit Summit. It's a conference about credit and consumer law that I have every year. This year, we're going to have it in Atlanta. It's going to be in October. I will give you guys more details very, very soon. I'll be launching the information regarding the Credit Summit. So just be a little patient with me. By next week, information for the Credit Summit will be out. Okay, so from your favorite island boy, I'ma see y'all next week. The challenge, the challenge, the challenge. It is going to be on like white on rice. I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing rest of your night.